Get a new gun, you mover! Go!
Hey, watch where you spray that!
He's a German immigrant!
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already found us, we're on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, William Fratelli Cooking and Guns channel, where we usually post cooking videos on the channel. We try our best to post at least a video a week, and then we have our Second Amendment content that we titled Sunday-Gunday. We've been doing it for about close to a year now on the channel. We post a lot of fair use. We've been posting a lot of fair use videos lately due to the situation in our country. We're seeing a lot of violence, a lot of civil disorder. So the video for tonight, we're going to get into a quick disclaimer / disclosure as usual that we do. That way you guys know where we're coming from and what we're trying to spread. No misinformation, of course. Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a fair use video. This is going to be episode 40, episode 44, I believe, 44 on the Second Amendment content. It's going to be Insurrection Act activated. We haven't seen the Insurrection Act activated yet, but it's possible. We talked about this about 6 months ago when we posted a video on the channel. It didn't get that many views, but it was a dire situation. We were in dire straits a couple of months ago when all this civil disorder was happening in other states throughout the country, like I believe it was Washington, D.C. at the time. I can't remember if it was Washington, D.C. It's been a minute. But we're going to go ahead. Thank you for tuning in once again. William Fratelli Cooking and Guns channel. We've been on this platform on YouTube for a while now, but we're just trying to continue to get to it with these videos, give you guys good content. Welcome back to the channel. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Subscribe, like our videos, subscribe, hit the bell notification. That way you get notification whenever we post a new video. We are coming from 16 years of law enforcement experience. I've been employed as an armed security guard in the state of Florida since 2010. I was 19 years old. I've worked for the federal government, Department of Homeland Security. I've worked for companies like Blackwater Agency, companies like G4S, Wackenhut, now known as Allied Universal. We are a channel that preaches lawful self-defense. We're by no means gun fanatics. We're not giving any legal advice. We're simply giving you guys guidance. We're advising you, not giving any legal advice. We're just counseling, basically giving you guidance on how to maneuver in uncertain times that we're living in. Message to the trolls: if we get any trolls in the comment section, we're just gonna block you. We don't have any time for that kind of thing. We're trying to make this video short for tonight, so we played a few clips before this this part of the video you guys are seeing. We played a couple of clips and we did the fair use disclaimer, so you guys can understand where the Fair Use Act comes in and why we're allowed to use this content, and it's not going to be copyrighted. It's exempt from the copyright rule. We always like to put that fair use disclaimer. So, Insurrection Act activated. The President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, has basically put the state of Minnesota, Minneapolis. We're seeing a lot of violence in Minneapolis in the last week. Last 48 hours has been terrible. We've seen attacks on law enforcement, protesters, supposed protesters that are out in the street peacefully protesting are not doing that. There might be a lot of people that are peacefully protesting, but there's an amount of people out there that are not. We have people that are engaging in something called unlawful assembly, what law enforcement calls an unlawful assembly, which would be a gathering of 2 or more people, individuals that are committing an unlawful act. It can be anything. It could be threats to do violence. We're seeing a lot of violence, a lot of chaos in Minneapolis against our law enforcement, ICE agents, local authorities, government officials, public servants, people wear a uniform. Some people are in charge of certain duties, like enforcing federal law. We're seeing mostly federal agents being attacked by people that are not engaging in peaceful protest. You know, people are trying to take matters into their own hands on the street. We've posted videos like this in the past. This is not the time or the place for you to conduct court on the side of the street. It's only going to get you hurt. It's going to get you locked up, put in cuffs, put in the back of a patrol car or a van. It's a cargo van. It's going to get you sent to jail. It's going to put you on a detention. You're going to be detained. You're going to be held in custody. If you're given a bond, you might be released. You might not, but you're not supposed to be holding court on the side of the road. You're supposed to, if you're going to protest, peacefully protest, no violence, no threats. We're seeing a lot of threats towards law enforcement. We've seen a video of ICE officials, I believe it was Border Patrol chief and his agents going to local Walmart. I don't remember what state it was. I don't know if it was in California. I don't believe it was. It might have been Minneapolis. Going to get a snack or going to use the facilities and being threatened by a customer or an employee, and all kinds of threats and stuff that could have gotten him arrested. Luckily, he wasn't arrested, saying he was going to do bodily harm to the agents if they weren't wearing badges, if they weren't wearing their equipment. We're seeing a lot of threats. People are getting in their feelings. A lot of people don't agree with the situation that's happening right now in the country. A lot of us don't agree on everything. We're not 100%, but you're not supposed to hold court on the street. You're not supposed to impede on law enforcement. We're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing civil disorder once again, disruptions and a breach of the peace. A breach of the peace, that's a crime. That's something that we don't want to engage in. We're seeing chaos and looting of businesses. Local businesses are suffering enough already with all this law enforcement activity. It's becoming a police state. It's imminent. It's unavoidable. It's a necessary evil. We're seeing it. We have federal agents marching throughout the streets as if it were a riot situation, and it's becoming a riot situation if it hasn't gotten to that point already. I mean, many of us are just watching the news and we don't even know what to call it. But civilians are becoming combative with law enforcement, and now we have a situation where President might has the ultimate authority to activate the Insurrection Act, which would block the Posse Comitatus Act that prevents not local, but federal troops, so active duty military. Anybody in active duty military is about 2 million, 2.5 million, something like that, last time I checked, of active duty military that would be able to be deployed in the United States on domestic territory. This has been done before in the past. I don't know how many times. Last time I checked, research has been done in the past. That authority lies ultimately with the President of the United States. No federal judge or any other part of Congress has any say when it comes to this. This authority lies within the President. He's authorized to make this decision, and it would federalize any type of National Guard in the United States to also be automatically federalized as if they were active duty. So anybody in National Guard, I don't know about the State Guard. We have State Guard here in the state of Florida. I don't know about other states. We have a State Guard that's dedicated to just local missions in their state and can't be federalized. But I don't know under this rule right here, I don't know, they might be able to be activated as well as federal troops. We have police officers and federal law enforcement officers and local officials being attacked with sticks, with pipes, with rocks, baseball bats, pieces of debris on the side of the street being thrown at federal agents, being thrown at local officials. We had an incident of a person, I don't know if it was I don't remember if it was, I believe it was in Minneapolis today. It was a federal agent was attacked with a shovel. That federal agent went ahead and drew his weapon and defended himself against a shovel, an attack with a shovel. I don't know if it was a shovel or a broomstick, and wounded one individual in the leg. We had another individual, I believe it was in California yesterday or the day before yesterday, was pepperballed. I believe we put the video in the prior to this part of the video. I believe we put a clip in there. If not, if I'm wrong about that, I'm sorry. We had an individual that was pepperballed with a less lethal round. I don't know if it was a less lethal munition, kind of like a paintball gun with less lethal ammunition, or pepper balls, basically mace or pepper spray balls, and was pepperballed in the eyeball, permanently blind in one eye. This individual lost his eye, got into a struggle with federal agents. He was dragged after the injury that he sustained. He was physically dragged, or put in cuffs, arrested, and removed from the scene. So this is just some of the stuff that we're seeing. This is some of the chaos. This is some of the stuff that doesn't need to be happening. People don't need to be putting themselves in this predicament to lose an eye, or to lose a loss of limb, or loss of anything. Any kind of injuries is not a good thing. It's not necessary. This is unnecessary. If the civilians in this state and other states like California that are basically being having their local officials basically have their backs, basically the violent protesters, not the peaceful ones. I'm not saying every protester out there is violent, but the ones that are being violent, those individuals need to be arrested. They need to be held accountable. This stuff doesn't need to be happening, and they don't need to be at risk for injury. You're putting yourself at all kinds of risks for injury when you engage in this type of conduct with law enforcement. In general, it makes the city look bad. It makes the state look bad. This behavior is gonna cause escalation, federal escalation of force. That's gonna lead to the Insurrection Act being passed. Insurrection Act is not the same as martial law. Insurrection Act is basically a power that the president has that can be implemented. Basically, civilian government would stay in place, so courts will remain open. The Constitution will remain fully in effect. Military is going to basically support law enforcement. They're not going to take over, not replace it. Martial law would be completely different. Martial law would be basically the whole country would be under military rule. Normal civilian functions would be replaced with military authority. Basically a collapse of the government. And I don't think it's at that point. I don't believe it's gonna get to this point. I hope not. Basically civil courts would be closed. Elections would be paused. Civil liberties can be restricted. Your right to vote, any kind of civil processes, any type of lawsuits or civil actions Military commanders would be governed by order, no longer governed by law. And this is basically Insurrection Act enforces the law. Martial law replaces the law. Scary to say something like that. Scary that we're having to talk about this, but this is what we're seeing. When you go to a city where you're seeing police cars being torched, police cars being put on fire, basically having Molotov cocktails thrown at the vehicle, or gasoline poured and thrown at the vehicle, people lighting things and tossing it at law enforcement, putting themselves at risk, putting law enforcement at risk. They need to disengage. This behavior needs to be stopped, needs to be halted. Police vehicles being burned to the ground, law enforcement being assaulted with all kinds of different weapons. This behavior can't continue. If it continues, it's going to lead to all kinds of other stuff. It's going to lead to the implementation of this, basically this it's going to basically, the country is going to be militarized. It's going to be under military, somewhat 50-50, law enforcement and military. Military will, with the Insurrection Act, military will be able to assist law enforcement in carrying out civilian law enforcement. So your local police would be accompanied by your military personnel, which is a couple of million here in this country. You would have curfews in place. You would have all types of tactics being used by military and law enforcement to calm the situation down. There might be curfews. A lot of things might be canceled. We're going to try to see if this can be avoided. We don't know at this point. The president already put the country on notice and put the individual states on notice, basically, that he will activate the Insurrection Act if they don't maintain order in these states. Not every state is having these issues. These issues are happening in particular states. I'm not going to name each one, but Minnesota and California, to name a few. The local authorities are basically headbutting the federal orders that have been put in place, federal immigration consequences that are being carried out at this moment. This is something legal. This is something that's not illegal. This is what the people voted for. This is a completely legal operation that's being carried out. A lot of people don't agree with it. I'm not saying I agree with everything, but this violence is not going to make a difference. This is not going to stop. So overall, the supremacy clause is going to overrule federal law, overrules state law, regardless of what people's political views might be. We're having a lot of reports of this information is out there. This is not false information. This is actually valid information. There's sources. There's a lot of information out there on mainly some of these people are mentally unstable. The ones carrying out these attacks, mentally unstable individuals. This is one of the factors that we're seeing when it comes to people lashing out at law enforcement, and we have other groups like Antifa. Flags were seen being flown around, different symbols that resemble these types of groups. A lot of paid actors are being there's a lot of reports of paid actors that are being trained and are trained and paid, pretending to be protesters, and are actually igniting the conflict, and are surrounding themselves with legitimate peaceful people that are just trying to peacefully assemble with signs and stuff like that. And you have these characters that are being paid by certain groups out there that are igniting the crowd and are causing the violence to start. And monkey see, monkey do. One person throws a rock, the next one throws a shovel, The one after that decides to light up a bottle of liquor and put a towel in there and light it up and throw it like a cocktail and throw it at someone's car, and then before you know it, you have an angry mob of what was peaceful is now an angry mob of basically domestic terrorists. Terrorists doesn't need to be somebody from outside the country. It could be somebody from within. We're seeing a lot of domestic terrorism. These are day-to-day. These ICE officials are working, federal officials are working day-to-day, trying to carry out their duties and do not need to be put in harm's way. The job is tough enough as is. So we have the paid actors starting the violence. At the end of the day, regardless of what the views are, regardless of what the situation might be, people need to maintain and act in a lawful manner. Stop this chaos, stop interfering with authorities. They're executing their lawful and official duties, and are anyone interfering with those duties that they're trying to execute and carry out are subject to arrest. Any one of us is subject to arrest at any time. If you don't agree with something, if you have an objection to some law, or you're cited, you're pulled over and you're given a ticket, you're given a notice to appear in court, it's not smart for you to hold court on the side of the road. We've said this in plenty of videos in the past. Take your ticket, take your court date. If you're gonna get arrested, take your arrest, do whatever you have to do, and then go before a judge. You'll have the time and the right to conduct court in the courtroom in front of the judge with your lawyer or your other legal representative, and not on the side of the street, because you're not going to win. That's a battle you're not going to win. If you start attacking one law enforcement officer, you're going to have several law enforcement officers on you, and you're going to be in a worse situation. You're going to end up in the hospital, and you're going to go to jail anyway, or worse than that. So there's no point in doing that or conducting that type of behavior on the side of the street, because you're not going to win. Once again, we've said this in the past. Basically, we have to see if this Insurrection Act is going to be implemented. We're seeing, once again, a lot of unstable people out there. Law enforcement is justified to use reasonable force and up to deadly force in an encounter that basically involves ability, opportunity, and jeopardy. We've talked about these things in the past. If you have the ability to physically do damage to someone, it doesn't have to be a law enforcement officer, it could be a civilian. You have the ability to carry out that threat, or that whatever that threat is. If you're making threats, if you're displaying any kind of that behavior, if you have the opportunity, that's another factor. Proximity and location has a lot to do with the opportunity. We've said this before in one of our earlier videos throughout the year. Having the opportunity to carry out any kind of a threat, or deadly threat, or not deadly threat but almost deadly threat, and jeopardy. Are you putting yourself or others in jeopardy? In my opinion, all these people that are engaging in this violent behavior on the street are putting every law enforcement officer in jeopardy. Doesn't matter what your view is or whatever the case might be. Any kind of violence like this, you're putting yourself and that law enforcement official in jeopardy. So this needs to stop. We have a serious problem in this country at the moment. There's been a problem. There's always been a problem, but not at this level. This is hasn't even been a year into this new administration, and we're seeing all this chaos. This needs to stop. There's once again a serious problem in this country. We need to address it, and this is just a video to put you guys on notice, basically, to watch the news, stay informed, keep in touch with your local officials, and if you have any questions, you could reach out to local law enforcement on any things that change. If this thing does get put into place, it's gonna be a big change for this country. This hasn't been implemented in 60 years, 50 years, something like that. Last time I read up on it. So with that, we're gonna let you guys go. Once again, we're gonna do shout outs to Gun Freak Nation, Trey57 Production, and the Alert Zone TV on YouTube. These are 3 channels that collaborate with us, show us a lot of love. We appreciate these 3 channels. We wouldn't have a channel if it weren't for them. And then once again, you guys have a good evening. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.